believe that was John Nash the fourth. I believe went from winning silvers to winning gold in back-to-back months. We do have a 3-2-1 pills, so we are off and running.
Pretty
Um,
interesting board so far. They're relatively even. I don't particularly dislike either of them. It's a lot of red in the stairs there on Arco's side. It could cause him a little bit of an issue because directly underneath that red is a whole staircase of yellow. Meanwhile, on Darz's side, just due to the pills that he's been given so far, he does have a lot of blue up available, but those are all in pairs, which should make him pretty easy to take off Larva.
mhm. Yeah, Arco getting down sort of toward both of his staircases. You can see them there. There's a staircase of red on top of a staircase of yellow. Um, we don't really like to see that, but he has been handling things pretty well. He just wants more red at this point, especially double reds. And there's a double red. You're welcome.
Meanwhile, Rondar said he would like some red as well. Right now, most of his pills remaining are reds, and he's just having to position things to make certain he does take them off. He does not have that much with drop time. Those reds he had up above. I'm worried about now. He's going to hope that he'll be able to get some blues in order to get access to those two reds and same on the right side, take them out together. Meanwhile, our Arco is out at about a 135 and making quick work of the top line of that level 11, which is a little lacking in yellow, but beyond that, it looks like it's a good board from top to bottom.
Yeah, I don't really like all of the blue on that top line for Arco, and he's not really getting a lot of blue to deal with it. So he's had to be a little bit more creative in the way that he takes this. Dars does join him in level 11. I like his board a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more even. Um, and I believe that the color distribution I think is a lot better. So I think that he'll be able to make up this deficit a lot easier than other people in other positions might.
It looked like at one particular point, Arco is going to go for a massive horizontal with the blues and drop everything down, but he has since abandoned those plans and taken most of those pills out, which did cost him a fair bit of time. That gave Dars a chance to take a minor lead here, which is at this particular point going to start swapping back and forth. But right
Hmm.
now, I'd say that Dars, with the exception needing a little bit more yellow than the other colors, is in a pretty good position here, while Arco's got a lot of stuff that's just hanging high that's really going to slow him down.
Hmm. Yeah, he does have a lot going on, especially in that column 8. Um, and it's kind of stoplighted a little bit, so that's a little bit more difficult to get rid of. You don't have some of those doubles and things like that that you can work with. Dars now with a 4 virus lead. He is looking for things that are not red at this point. That he's in the middle of a red rush, so that's not really what he's looking for. Gets out of it. Um,
Yeah,
Very
just
nicely
need
done on that one little bit to um get rid of some of that. He was desandwiching. I know he's shaking his head, but this end game fairly good. He gets out at a 414.
Arco, meanwhile, trying to just clear out those blues in column 7 so he can take out all of those reds together, it looks like. But he's just having a little bit of difficulty with that. He may just end up taking him out the. No, I see what he's doing. There we go. And that's going to drop everything down just like that. And he will be out at a 440. That does place him about 11 viruses behind. And looking at the board, it's. For the most part, it's a good board. There's not a lot of anything at the top. He should be able to flatten out pretty quickly, but Doris right now in his board, with the exception to not much yellow near the top, he's getting the pills that he needs to start working on some quick combos to try and extend his lead a little bit.
Yeah, but there's a lot going on Dars's board, and some of it I can figure out, and some of it I can't, and that's probably just me. I do like this cross clear. I do also think he wants to take that blue horizontally. Um, so let's see. Oh, he gives up on that idea. Um, does look like
Ooh,
he
that-
places something backwards. Um, so he is working through that, and you could see him again shake his head. He's not happy with that. Um,
yeah, yeah, because
and
it made a
now he
fair amount.
has, yeah, there's a fair amount of garbage there. Now he's looking for some reds to take out some of that garbage. There we go. But now it is basically even again. All of that digging has allowed Arco to come back in this level 12.
Yeah, the biggest issue right now that's going to be for Arco is that there isn't much left in the way of blue, and what blue he does have for the most once he gets rid of that top one is mostly covered by yellow, so he's going to need a lot of yellow to get to the blue, and it's making a fair amount of garbage because he's getting a lot of red that he doesn't need right now. He's not getting a lot of blue yellow pills. It'd be ideal for him at this particular point, and that's making this so this is an even match yet again. As Doris right now, it's really dealing with a column 8, which again is pretty much tricolored there, and that's going to take a fair amount of time to clear out.
I like he gets rid of some of that garbage and signals he wants to take that yellow on the bottom horizontally. So now he can work on that column from either side. Sees the red in the next box, decides he wants to not take that. Arco, in the meanwhile, is going to be out into level 13, and Dar's out at a 712.
I'm not liking Arco's board though, because while there is a lot of blue, which that much blue could be a big concern, the bigger part is that it's all buried pretty much underneath red and yellow, which is going to take some time to get to, while Dawes' board, with the exception of that huge amount of blue on the left side, he's pretty much taken out. He's got access to just about everything, or gets access to it again quite easily, which I'd say gives him a little bit advantage right now, even though the score is pretty close to tied. In fact, these guys are trading leads back and forth every couple of seconds at this point.
Yeah, but Dars does not right now have access to really any blue and very little yellow. So he's really hoping for a lot of reds to come his way. Decides he didn't want to take that yellow horizontally. Decides to take it vertically. Um, so he does want to make sure that he's prioritizing red at this point, just because there's so much of it on his board.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do with that, but it's starting to get to the same point on Arco's board. He still has access to everything, but right now the reds is starting to take over. If we can get a nice red that he can put into column 5, we'll get rid of a lot of those reds right there. In fact, the one bet it's probably what you can do right here, dropping that down. And that gives him a 7 virus lead right now, with getting close to the end of this first matchup. Got a little bit of trying to figure out how he's going to take out those pills on the left hand side. He may just end up having to take them out vertically due to the garbagettes in column 4. Ooh, I think he put that one in upside down. That's going to slow him down a bit.
Yeah, I do think that was upside down. He can clear that away pretty easily if he wants to horizontal out that blue, or he can chop it down individually. We are 10 viruses to 4. So this is coming down to the wire. If Arco can get 3 blues, then he will take this at a 943.
Which Doris is going to be just a couple seconds behind here at a 9:49. Good times by both of them in this first match, but Arco does take the first in this best of 5 situation.
Okay, we will get our players reset and into game number 2.
Arco, as I was mentioning earlier, was in the silver last month, but he has had 8 PBs in the last 9 months. He has been on a massive improvement. And as you said, he joined the 17 club this month. And, the way he's improving, I really don't think it's going to be long before we potentially see that being even a higher number that he's going to get into at this rate.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes in the future. As a reminder, the winner of this match will move on to the finals to face our number 4 seed Frank, who has taken some time off, but apparently has used that time off to practice. So it'll be great to see our number 4 versus either our number 10 or number 11. Very much a bracket buster.
I do not believe Frank has faced either one of these people in the past. That could
I
make things
can
very interesting. We got our 3, 2, 1 pills, and that is a lot of red at the top of, well, really both the boards, but more so on Doors, and he's not getting much red to start off with, so he's having to do some creative positioning of pills in order to try getting some work done here, because now that he's got the red just a little bit too early, because I think he's going to try taking all those reds out horizontally right there, which drops the blue down, giving
wonderful.
this keeping this pretty even with a 31-32 score, about 30 seconds in lava.
Exactly. And you were right. Frank has never faced either Dars or Arco. So that would be very fun to watch in the finals, whoever makes it. It will be a brand new match. I like this horizontal from Dars. Very well done.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
there
he's got a
is
lot of stuff.
there's
Sorry.
a bit of space in not quite the bottom of his board, but just above the bottom of his board that I'm not sure I really like. It can potentially lead for some drop time, things like that, that just eats at your time over and over again. So we'll see how well he can manage all of that. It is 11 viruses to 17 at this point. Dar's also signaling he wants to take those reds horizontally.
The
Gonna
biggest concern I see though right now is on Arco's side was that build up on the left hand side is going to be a little challenging to clear out, I think.
Yes, he's waiting just for that pill. Um, it looks like there was maybe a misshift at one point. Um, so that did take out a lot of ways for him
Oh
to,
wow.
yeah, that red flip, very, very nice. He's waiting for a blue to get everything out of column 2, and then he can underclear that pretty easily. But Dar's gonna be the first one into level 11.
I'm still wowing over that nice little flip to get that. I didn't think he'd be able to do that on high speed this late into the level, but just shows exactly how good these competitors are this match.
Mhm. There's yeah, really to make it to semifinals, you really have to be on your game. Especially at this point in our community, there's, you know, everybody knows what they're doing. You're not necessarily facing, people who say, "Oh, I've seen this game a couple of times before and I really like it." You're seeing people who, devote energy and time into practicing. So, um, even a few years ago, we might not have been able to say that, but we can definitely say that now.
These two are keeping the match pretty even. There is 0 viruses on row 1 of Arco's side, which I think gives him a little bit of a minor advantage here because that gives him the opportunity to slide pills underneath and good positions so he can work from the top or the bottom. But right now it is a 2 virus lead for Dars, who again just has a pretty clean board. All he really needs is reds at this particular point, 3 of them to be exact,
Mhm.
make that 2, and he will be out of this level. We are just waiting on the doctor to realize that's what he needs. There it is. He is out at a 404, time not found. And at this particular point on Arco's side, it's just yellows he needs. I think he overtucked that one slightly, which only going to slow him down slightly. He's going to get one more, and he'll be out lava at a 421.
Yes, Dar's with an 8 virus lead at this point, not insurmountable by any means. Um, I do think he potentially missed a tuck um, in that column 4, but he can easily use that to his advantage. He can get rid of that blue. Okay, he decides to take it another way. Um, so that just shows you how you can play Dr. Mario in a bunch of different ways. Does overshift that blue red that's sitting there in column 2. Um, that was an overshift. He wanted it to be in column 3. Um, Arca with a good amount of horizontals that he's taking right now, and a lot of need for red.
He won't be needing that in a second if he can get just one more red piece here, because watch that huge amount drop down. So now he just needs like a couple red now in order to really get access to the rest of his board. Very soon he's going to be needing more blue than anything else at this point. But right now, over on Dawes' side, he's gotten an 11 virus lead. He's down near the bottom and being able to open up access to almost everything. He just has a little bit of garbage over a couple pills, but he'll be able to take pretty much everything out vertically, which or horizontally. If you can get those yellows out in column 1, he can take the blues out that way, or you can take the red out in column 5 and take him out that way as well. So this is going to be not too long before we're in level 13.
It is he has this one blue, he's gonna be at a 612. Arco still with 6 viruses left in this level 12. There's a lot of blue on Darz's top line, and I'm a little uncomfortable with it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got a lot of blue at the top and a lot of blue at the bottom, and mostly red in between there, which could make things interesting because there's a lack of yellow for the most part in this board. It's not going to be too long with the yellows he's getting that he's going to run out of yellow, and that's really going to start slowing him down as Arco is into his level 13 at a 649. And even though it's a 17 virus deficit right now, for the most part, Arco's board is good. If he can get rid of a couple of these reds at the top, it'll give him a lot more access to blue because he doesn't really have easy access to it right now. Doesn't have access to
Um,
yellow anymore either.
doesn't have any access to yellow exactly. There's just red on top of red on his top line. Um, but he is really kind of moving through this, and a lot of his reds are paired. Like he could take that that he just did in a T clear, so that really helps uh, when we have viruses that are paired up, and both of our players have paired viruses, but Arco has more paired viruses. So he can make some really quick work of this, especially because Arco is very, very speedy.
Yes, right now we do see that Doris does have an advantage over about 10 viruses, but as you mentioned, there's not a lot of easy combinations with the bottom of Doris's board where you can see plenty of horizontal opportunities on Arcos, which could make for a bit of a difference as we get closer to the end game for both these competitors. It looks like there was another misflip, unfortunately, by Arco on columns 3 and 4 that might hinder him slightly, but we'll have to see how quickly he's able to kill. Beautiful way to take it out from him, just drop the garbage down. It does block off that red, but it shouldn't take too long for him to do it. But right now, Dodge just needs one more red, and he will be out at an 843.
And Arco still having 13 viruses left, meaning Dars will take this fairly easily. Um, we're going to get reset and on to our next match.
It means we got at least two more matches here. This could still be anyone's match. Here is it tied up at one. And well, I'm just amazed by the gameplay we're seeing from both of these competitors.
Mm-hmm. Ook in our chat put in some statistics for us. The last time we had 10 or higher seeds in a semifinal was in November 2021 when number 10 BSG 4000, also known as Chris Bidwell, faced number 14 Sarah Sparkle. We miss you, Sarah. Please come back soon. Bidwell had lost to number 2 Frank in round 2, but a drop by Frank gave him a spot in the semis. Sarah won 3-0 before dropping 3-2 to Floyd in those finals. So that also brings up what happens if somebody needs to drop in the middle of the tournament. If somebody has already played and then they say they need to drop, I believe Frank needed to drop that month for a technical issue. We will pull from who they previously faced.
I feel like I should know that name Bidwell from somewhere. I'm sure it will come to me later. But we do have our 3-2-1 pills, and right now we see that Dars does have a 7 virus lead, and it's got a mostly balanced board virus count. There's a couple less yellow than the others, but still a pretty nice board overall. While right now Arco is just right hand side of his board only, and mostly blue and yellow. Just has those 2 red viruses left there, though he has managed to make this a much closer game. But I think that Doris has a couple of interesting combo moves that he's going for here. Takes off those yellows on the left. In fact, he's going to get rid of all of his yellows right away here. He decides he wants to move those, partly because he doesn't want to block off that column 4 and all those blues. There we go. Now he just needs, at this particular level, just a couple of reds and a couple of blues, and he'll be out of this match pretty quickly. First level, excuse me, very quickly.
Yes, but Arco with 3 takes out 2. Last one, he's going to be out at a 154, and Dar's at a 157. This is neck and neck.
This is a very exciting matchup so far, but neither competitor has much in the way of yellow early on that they have access to. Now the doors has cleared a couple of things up. He's given them access to some, but it's going to be a little bit troublesome for both these competitors throughout a fair amount of this lava.
Yeah, very nice cross clear from Arco to get rid of a bunch of blues at the top of his board. He does have. Okay, he does take out his. Oh, that double blue is great. He was taking out some things horizontally that could potentially have conflicted with each other, but he took them out in the proper order so that that conflict was erased.
And right now, the competitors have both reached the yellow parts of the board, and Dars has gotten rid of most of his pretty quickly, as has Arco. We're getting to the point where Arco, for the most part, just needs red and blue. He's not going to need much of that third color right now, though I'm sure he will find ways to use it very creatively to drop pieces down into nice combinations. While on Dars's side, he's still built up fairly high on columns 2 and 3, but it's mostly yellow. Hopefully he can get some double yellow pieces to help out just like that. And then a yellow red would be good as well in order to, well, not anymore, to get rid of that. But now, for the most part, it's mostly clear board. It's a 12 virus lead for Dars right now.
Yeah, he was behind a little bit, but he was able to take out those yellows very, very quickly. I think he might want to try to take out the blue. Okay, he decides he wants to take it out that way. Um, Now he just needs a couple more yellows and a couple more reds. If he does the reds the right way, there we go. He can take them together in an L yeah at 413.
Well, right now, all that Arco needs is one blue, and then this red, yellow get him out there as well, and he'll be out at a 426, just about a dozen seconds or so behind ours. And looking at these boards right now, it's a little bit of an interesting one with the positions of them. I'd say that there's much more combo opportunities on Dawes' board, particularly horizontal, if he can get the right pieces. But these look like they're going to be pretty easy to handle levels. What do you think, Laura?
Um, Potentially. I do think that there are some gaps in Dars's board that I'm not a big fan of, that they can, increase drop time. Um, I really want Dars to take those yellows horizontally in the middle of the board. We'll see if he does that. I don't think he will. Um, which is fine. All of our players can play exactly the way that they want to play. Oh, there we go. Um, and
Yes.
he has brought his board down. He has a 9 virus lead at this point. There's still a lot of double reds on the left side of his board that he can take care of. Um, but he's not really getting the pills that he wants at the time that he wants them. So hamstringing him just a little bit on that in that regard.
Which is giving Arco a bit of a chance to catch up. It is about a 13 virus difference right now, but what would really help Arco at this point is he would get a fair amount of blue. There is just a lot of blue on the top of his board right now, and now that he's gotten rid of that, a little bit of yellow would be helpful as well. And hey, there's the yellow as well. You're welcome for that. But right now, all that Doris needs is 2 yellow on that column 1. There is 1, and there is the other, and he will be out into level 13 at a 626, which that's a pretty fast time.
Yeah, and with that 14-15 virus lead, going into this last level, you really want all the lead that you can have going into the final level. It does help you relax a little bit and not stress as much. And for anybody who's been keeping up with the Tetris community, we've seen that when people distract themselves during high stakes situations, they tend to perform really well. We saw that with Alex Thatch, um, with his just complete and utter nonsense, record breaking run. He distracted himself and really had no idea what his score was at the time, and he demolished every expectation. So, when you can do that, it's very good. Arco is going to be into his final level. Um, Dar's now with about a 20 virus lead at this point.
Yeah, and he's got not much in the way of blue axes at the top right now. He's trying to make some, but for the most part, it's a red-yellow board, now a mostly red board at the top, and he's starting to get a few pieces to help out with that, and he's really going to need him if
Mhm.
he wants to maintain this lead. While on Arco's side, not much in the way of yellow, and he's not going to have much of an opportunity for that until he gets near the bottom of his board. And so if he ends up getting a fair amount of that, that's really not what he's going to want at this time. And of course, now he's getting a very large amount of yellow, which hopefully
Mhm.
that'll end.
A couple of very, very good head smart tuck plays from Dars. He is down to the bottom of his board. Nothing in row one. Um, but he's got that paired red, the paired yellow, one more red, and then he will be out. He just needs to get rid of these yellows. He'd love to take them horizontally. Not sure if he can. He's not going to. He's not going to wait for the blue. I think that's a smart move. He's to be out at an 848.
And Arco is already past that, so he takes match 3 and is now just one match away from facing another one of the OGs, I believe, of the competition, which hard to imagine these guys have been around for so long and never faced each other.
Um, well, Dars would be more of an OG than Frank. Frank did join in April 2021. I just happen to know that off the top of my head because I keep those statistics. Um, so not quite the May 2020, but Frank did start within the first year of the Dr. Mario Monthly. We do have readies from Dars and Arco um into this game of four. This is match point for Dars. If he takes this, he goes on to the finals for the first time.
Looks like we got our 3, 2, 1 pills and a very interesting start to Dars's board here. A lot of blue early on at top, and hopefully he'll be able to get rid of the rest of that blue right there.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, over on Arco's side, not any real access to yellow early on, but plenty of pills being given to give him access to that pretty quickly. And gets actually because of how that board is sloped, he'll be able to get down to near the bottom to start doing some position with those yellows easily as well. This is looking to
Mhm.
be a very fast first level, Larva.
Yeah, especially for Arco. I like his board. Not saying that I would want to play it anytime soon, but I do think that it is very conducive to his play style. He's able to take out a lot of doubles, and I think it was compacted a little bit more than Dars's board has been. So not as much room for drop time or anything like that. Does signal he wants to take those blues out horizontally at the bottom of his board. So we'll see if he can do that. That unless he changes up a little bit of okay, there's he wants to take those in a fat log. That's why he's doing that. Okay. But it is 7-8. It is very neck and neck at this point.
5 and 2. Arco just needs a couple of yellows, which he gets 1, 2 there. Just needs one more, and he'll be out at a 151, which that's a good time for the first level on 8 to 11. Never mind on 10 to 13. And Dars is
Hmm.
out right afterwards at a 159.
Exactly. It's only a 4 virus lead at this point for Arco. That is very, very surmountable with the right RNG, everything like that. So we'll see what they can do. Um, I like both boards. I think they're fairly balanced. Have a decent amount of um, ability to reach all colors and everything like that. Um, so I don't think that either of our players will really be hamstrung by any RNG or anything like that.
The only thing that's making Dars's board a little bit difficult is he's gotten a lot of blue pieces, and that's wiped out a large amount of blue on his board. So, it's one of those things where, it was a good board, but it's more the pieces that are making it a little bit more challenging. He needs a fair amount of red at
Hmm.
the top there to make this easier, while on Arku's side, he'd be pretty happy not to see much in the way of red for a short period of time, as it's mostly yellow and blue at the top of his.
Hmm. Yeah, Dar's really, really hurting for some reds at this point. Um, both column, he has four columns that have red on the top, um, including that column 8, which is staircase. It is, stoplighted a bit. Um, so we'll see if he can get that. And Arco just working in columns or in rows 1 and 2. Um, so, but some of his pieces are a little bit buried.
Yeah, but just a couple viruses left here on Dawes' side, I wonder if he's going to be trying to, yeah, he's going to try taking all those blues out at once. Just needs a couple more yellows, and there it is right there.
He was working on a fat T setup and accidentally cleared, I think, one too early, so you could see him shake his head. He didn't like that. He was really banking on one specific piece. Um, so again, you know, we understand that that happens. We don't like that, when someone has to bank on one specific piece, because we know how this game is. So, a little bit of hard luck for Dars getting into this level 12, but he is only back by about 6 viruses at this point.
I think he put that blue yellow in the middle there in there backwards, but it shouldn't be too difficult for him to clean out with a couple good pieces. Looking over at Arco's side, again, not much of a need of blue at this point. He only has 3 blue viruses left on the board and a lot of red. He's going to need a fair
Mhm.
amount of that if he's going to be able to get through this. So it is a 15 virus lead right now. So if he can get a bit of a red rush, that would really help him, stay ahead in this one.
Yeah, it's what was happening with Dars in the last level is now happening with Arco in this level. Um so yeah, lots of reds that he needs. He's really working on these yellows as well. Gets rid of a lot of trash with that one move. Um but there's still quite a lot of garbage there. I believe Dars had a misflip. I think he was trying to get something over all the way into column one and didn't quite make it. So he has had that to deal with. It is 19-7 on this level 12.
Yeah, Doris was not able to really take advantage of the situation that Arco is dealing with, trying to get these colors that he needed. But right now, it's just going to be reds is all that Arco needs. He just needs 2 more of them, one more of them, and here's the last one. And he will be out first at a 641 going on level 13, while Doris and his 10 viruses to go. Not an easy way to take those out quickly, Larva.
He can take, if he wants to take this blue out, and then he's got those 2 reds he can take out, and then just needs to chop down. There we go. He just needs one more red to be out of this level 12 at a 709.
So the 16 virus difference right now, though, and a pretty, for the most part, nice board. Not a lot of red anymore, but Arco's able to get a fair amount of access to it again with a couple right pieces to keep this good. But he is going to need a fair amount of blue help soon if he's going to be able to maintain this lead.
Yeah, he does have a 20 virus lead at this point. Um, so, but you're right, he does need a lot of blue. Double blues would be great. But again, we know how the game works. So expecting a double blue is not really the way to go. He's getting halves, some helpful pieces, but not really what he wants at this point in time.
Yeah, he's managed to get a couple double blues in order to maintain it. It's still a 19 virus lead right now, but I see a few combo opportunities set up on Dawes' board that'll help him take a lot of those out quickly. But now the blue situation on Arco's board is just about gone. I think he moved that blue over a little bit too far. He was trying to set up for this fat log with blue red, which he's going to take out right there. He is down to just 5 viruses. As soon as he can take that red out first, so he doesn't get rid of the yellow. There we go. Now he just needs a little bit of work to get to that last blue over in column one, but this will take care of it right there. You just need 3 more blues, make that 2, make that 1, and he will be going out at a 857. And Doris is already past that, so Larva, you know what that means.
I know. What does it mean?
It means we're going to a decider.
Exactly. Our last match before the finals for our two uh underdogs so far, our number 10 and our number 11 seeds. Um
The only
Arco telling Dars that they're gonna do sub 8 strats, so they're gonna go fast.
the only negative I can see at this particular point is these two are going to be exhausted going into that final. It's going to take a lot of focus to try and do well against Frank after this.
Yeah, that is the one thing, especially with this. Frank has had some time to recuperate. Um, but and we will give whoever takes this, we will give them a few minutes. It'll be their choice. Um, to a couple minutes to you know get their thoughts about them, everything like that. But Frank is definitely um in a better position with that compared to either of our two players right now.
At the same point, I'm willing to bet that neither of them are going to care too much because, hey, they're going to be in the finals. And that's always an exciting moment.
It is. Finals are an exciting moment, whether it is gold bracket, silver bracket, if it is our versus tournaments, anything where you can be in the finals is very fun, very exciting, also a little nerve wracking.
Looking at these boards right now, not much really in the way of red access for Doris here. He's got to work a little bit to clear that up, but he's only got 13 viruses left, while Arco's got 14. Another one of these matches where they have been clearing through everything very quickly. At the rate that they're going, maybe
Mhm.
they weren't joking around about sub 8 strats, Larva.
Yeah, it's we have very friendly competition, but it is competition. So it is nice to see players want to push each other to the limit, as Ook was stating yesterday, being pushed to the limit. Um, we love to see that from our competitors. Um, let's see, Arco just needing a couple more yellows, um, and Dar's working through this stoplight in column 8.
Yep, just needs a couple yellows himself. There's two, and just needs one more. Arco's out at a 204. Dars is out at 205. This is essentially a tie game right now.
Basically, Dars with a quick double off the top of his board. Um, Also setting up. I don't really think he had anywhere to put that blue, so he looked one level down and said, "Oh, there's some blue here. If I take this red horizontally, I can drop that down." So we'll see if he's able to use that. He does need some yellow in order to make those plans happen.
Yeah, he decides just to get rid of that in column one because it's just not working the way he wants and take a little bit too long to clear through. So he's going to hopefully get a couple hot dogs to clear that out. There's one. So that's just decides he's going to take out it's a double red. Meanwhile, on Arco's side, got about a 5 virus lead, but a lot of red and blue in pairs, which work out
Mm-hmm.
very well to clear him out. Like take out in 2 pills, he took out 6 viruses, giving him about a 4 virus lead right now, and really just cooking on all cylinders, getting the exact pills he needs to be taking this board down very fast, Laura.
Yeah, he does have a 7 virus lead at this point. Um, so he does have that red on there we go, in row 1, that I thought for a second might have been a little tough for him to reach, but he did, in essence, prioritize making sure he was able to get to that. He's going to be out at a 344. Dars is not far behind. He just has a couple blues and a red that he's got to work with.
Yeah, both of these competitors with Doris being out at 357, getting sub 4 for the first two levels, which is pretty good time to be getting on the 10 to 13 range.
Exactly. I do wish Arco had a little bit more access to yellow, especially if he gets rid of that one. Um, Also the same for Dars. He doesn't have a lot of access to yellow aside from, one at this point, um, that he's gonna get rid of. Um, so both of our players needing a lot of blue on the tops of these boards. Very nice combo there from Dars to get rid of a lot of that.
And drop the yellow down onto a yellow that was underneath two sets of pills. That made his job a little bit easier. Right now, Arco's trying to do the same thing with a nice fat log into a drop double. I think it was like 7 pills he took off in that combo there. That was very impressive.
Exactly. Now Dars only having one red, now two red exposed. He just needs blue. That's really what he's asking for is blue. Um, and not really getting any that he can use.
Yeah,
Um,
this
so
this lack of sorry.
I was gonna say Arco has jumped out to a 19 virus lead at this point.
Yeah, and Magic advantages, though he's also needing the same color as Doris at this particular point, and the lack of blue that they were getting is making both these players, excuse me, feel blue. Listening to Packy earlier with his character, it got stuck in my head apparently. But opportunity here if Marco gets double blue, he could probably take him out horizontally, but instead he's going to take out the reds horizontally, and there's the double blue. Just needs one more, and he will be out at 6 minutes. Well, he only needs about 2 minutes. He could do a sub 8 at this rate, and a good start to this one. Not a lot of access to blue early on, besides at one at the top, but I see plenty of ways for him to get to it easily, Larva.
Yes, Dars. Oh, if yep, I was gonna say if I know anything about people who play Dr. Mario, they're just gonna want to take those out in a T. Takes a yellow out. Wonderfully done. Prioritizes keeping access to the red while getting out those blues. He's going to be out at a 644. But Arca with over a 20 virus lead at this point. It's not completely insurmountable, but we've only seen that a couple of times in the last level.
Yeah, the biggest issue right now that Arku's going to have is he needs a lot of yellow, and he's getting everything but at this particular point, and that's
Hmm.
certainly slowing him down. But here is a double yellow to help out a little bit, give him access to some red. But he's getting a lot of blue, and he's going to need that later on. So hopefully the dark won't run out of those anytime soon for him.
Yeah, very nice stacking there for Arco. Noticed what was underneath what he was trying to clear. Noticed he had enough to clear, and decided, okay, I'm going to put this on top. Also, if you've seen columns 1 and 2, he is setting up for a drop clear. We just got to wait for another yellow or two to make that happen.
Yeah, he's down to just 13 viruses. Unfortunately, he's not going to get his goal of a sub 8, but it's going to be a very close one at this point, as he is now down to just single digits and has so many things set up to take out these pills quickly. In fact, right here, he'll take out the last of the blue. Just needs one more red and a couple yellows, and he will be out of this level very quickly here. Meanwhile, over on Darz's side, still 14 viruses to go, hoping to try and tackle that column 5 a little bit, but right now it's just one more yellow. That's it. And Arco is out at an 831. And congratulations, Arco. You are making it to the finals. Good playing, though, by Dars, who kept this very close throughout all the matches.